Welcome to Catalyst Chats, where leaders spark ideas, share wins, and tackle people challenges that shape the future of work.
Hi, everybody. My name's Lindsey Hammer, and I'm the host of Catalyst Chats. And today I have the opportunity to speak with Shaheen Mazloom, who is a CEO and founder of Versa Business Solutions. Shaheen, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. So it's funny,
Yeah.
it was Versa Business Solutions for about 3 hours, and then I changed the name to Systems. The
Okay.
crazy part is, I don't know why, but so
Yeah.
many people call it that. Like, I have new employees that have been here a week, and they're still calling it Versa Business Solutions, and I'm like,
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm
"What
not
the
the only
heck?"
one
You're
getting it
not.
wrong.
You're not. It happens all the time, and I'm just like, "We're not listed anywhere as solutions." Like, I don't know why.
Thanks for being with us.
No
I want to make
worries.
sure we get your name out there correctly. For our audience, I'd love it if you could share an introduction.
Yeah, so, my introduction could be really long, but I'll keep it as brief as possible. So,
Okay.
I was born and raised in England. Moved to the States when I was a kid, and started my first business. In
Nice.
England it didn't snow, and we moved to Minnesota of all places in
Okay.
1995, and the U.S. had like the record like craziest winter, to a point where people were literally trapped in their homes. So that gave me, my brother, and my sister our first business idea, which was shoveling snow. And
Nice.
from there, had a lot of different businesses over the years, and finally found the one that stuck, which is helping businesses succeed and not make some of the same mistakes that I made in previous businesses. And so yeah, that's my passion. That's what I do now. We help businesses scale, grow, save money. Yeah,
Yeah, that's very cool. It sounds like it started really early for you and has
yeah,
just kind of stayed a part of who you are.
definitely.
You've you've got a pretty extensive list of accomplishments.
Appreciate
You've
it.
I know you've got books, you've been on various different TV shows. What have been some of your favorite moments and like critical moments throughout your life, like your first business that have led you to where you are today?
Yeah. Man, there's a lot, but like, a couple that really stick out is why am I drawing a blank of his name? Bob Saget. Oh,
Yeah.
during COVID, um, in January of 2020, by accident, and this is a super long story, so I won't get too into it, but I ended up starting a medical supply company in
Okay.
January of 2020.
Wow.
And it
Good
got to a
timing.
point where, I mean, we were doing business with different countries and huge companies all around the world, and
Yeah.
we were one of the first people to get supplies into Italy. And
Wow.
Bob Saget did a video promoting Versa Medical Supplies, and
Cool.
yeah, and it was I messaged him, I think, on Instagram, and asked him if he would do it. We're trying to work on donating more supplies, and so the more we sell, the more we can donate. And he did it for free, and that was a really cool
That's awesome.
moment. But it was a pivotal moment for me, because I realized that, like, all you gotta do is ask sometimes, right? Like, some of these celebrities and big businesses and
Yeah.
and whatever, like, they're not out of reach for anybody, right? Like, you can find all those people on Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever,
Totally.
and if you have something that they resonate with or they wanna be a part of, they're gonna help you out, or do business with you even
Awesome.
better, right? So yeah, that was a huge moment for me, because I really turned up the heat after COVID. I mean, we started reaching out to Target, and I'm still
Yeah.
playing phone tag with Warren Buffett. I've been playing phone tag with him for like 6
That's
months,
so cool.
but I've got to talk to him a few times. Like,
Yeah.
he knows my first name. He's, oh, hey Shaheen, we always calling each other at a bad time. And yeah, it's crazy, but yeah, I'd say that was probably the most pivotal moment in my overall business career,
Yeah.
cuz all that stuff just seemed so out of reach, right?
Yeah, totally.
But yeah,
That's super cool. And not a small name by any means.
no, definitely not. I mean, even like Kevin O'Leary did a video for us. Ray Lewis, like we got a bunch of celebrities that have done videos for us.
Yeah.
But like we had to pay them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and so like just reaching out to him randomly and saying, "Hey, man, can you help me out? It'll help us help out more people."
Totally.
And he did it. No questions asked. Like,
That's so
yeah, he
awesome.
didn't even respond. He just sent the video.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He was like, "Done. Just
yeah,
consider it
done.
done."
Yeah, it was
Love
crazy.
that. That's so cool. Well, what inspired you to get into the small business lending industry?
Lending, I really I didn't want anything to do with lending. It's crazy. So, I've been around businesses my whole life. My mom's side of the family are farmers, cow farmers through and through. My
Yeah.
uncle finally changed the trajectory of bankruptcy after bankruptcy when he decided to go and learn how to become a butcher and opened a butcher shop. So now they could do farm to table. And this was like 30 years ago, so farm to table wasn't a big conversation back then.
Yeah.
So, he's kind of a pioneer in that aspect. And so I've just seen so many businesses over the years screwed by lenders, credit card processing companies, marketing companies, you name it. And when I started my business, or when I started Versa 8 years ago, the plan was to sell mobile apps.
Okay.
Call a small pizza place. Hey, look, stop wasting your money on radio ads. We could build you an app just like Pizza Hut has, that
Yeah.
does push notifications, and they can order pizza and delivery and all this
Domino's has a
stuff.
great app.
Yeah, and but after 30 days, we didn't sell a single deal, and I only had 3 weeks left of money, so I had to come up with something quick. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I went home that weekend. I'm like, I'm not going to fail. Like, I've got 3 weeks left of money to keep this business alive. What do business owners need that they'll take if you can get it for them? And I'm like, money. So we got connected with the largest funding broker at the time, and we started closing at a 50% closing ratio in the first week.
Nice. That's awesome.
So much so that we got shut down from submitting deals because they thought we were committing fraud. Yeah. So I realized right away that my way of doing business, asking a lot of questions, really trying to help the business and not just trying to get a deal done and trying to make some money, worked. The lending industry has an average of a 10% closing ratio. We were
Wow.
closing at 50% right out
That's
the gate.
huge.
Yeah. And so like when they shut us down, they're like, hey, we got to do some investigating. Like, I'm sorry if, you are doing everything, on the up and
Yeah.
up, but like, we just got to make sure because
Too good.
we've never seen this before, and you're
Yeah.
brand new to the industry. So like,
That's crazy.
so they called all our clients, and everybody's like, yeah, we loved it. We got a great deal, and so yeah, man, it was pivotal. And if I had never got into business funding, I don't know, it just all kind of lined up this way. And
Yeah.
so we realized we're so good at business funding, and there's so many crooks out there that aren't. We just continued with it. If it was up to me, I wouldn't do business funding just because it's kind of a headache. Because you're up against all these guys out there that are promising unrealistic things. And
Yeah.
so, when you're the good guy that's always honest, like sometimes like people end up having to find out the hard way, and it really sucks. And it hurts me inside seeing business owners get screwed because they believed someone else,
Right.
over us. And so anyways,
Yeah, that's tough.
we continue to do it because we're good at it. And if we didn't do it, then that's just even more businesses that are going to get screwed over by the guys that are, just trying to sell them the loans that are going to make them the most amount of money instead of
Yeah.
what's the best for that business.
Yeah, that's tough to see, I'm sure. Well, what are some of the biggest mistakes, apart from maybe falling for things that are too good to be true, that you see businesses going through when they're applying for funding?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's that, but at the same time, like, it's so easy to do research, right? Like nowadays, you can ask Google and it will give you an AI answer, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't even need to go through and click links and do all this stuff anymore, right? Just ask ChatGPT, ask Google Gemini or whatever it's called before you sign anything. I think that's the biggest mistake people make is they trust the other person on the end of the phone. Like, it doesn't matter if it's me or, someone on my team or, anybody. Like, unfortunately, we live in a world where, and especially with business funding, because it's not a highly regulated industry. So there are people that are in business funding that really have no business doing any business anyway.
I'm sure.
So, it's just super important you do some research and you investigate the people that you're going to do business with before you sign anything. People can tell you whatever they want, and the contract could say something completely different,
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be the biggest mistake I see people make. But the second one is going to Google looking for a business lender. So, when you type in business funding on Google, the ones on the first 2 pages of Google, they're all pretty much the same. Your On Deck, your Rapid, your Bank of America, all of these companies are the exact same. They've got high requirements. You got to have at least a 680 credit score. You got to have at least 2 years in business. You got to have at least $50,000 a month in revenue. And so a lot of people think they can't qualify for any funding because they're going to the people on the first 2 pages of Google. But my biggest recommendation would be to go to a company like us that doesn't charge broker fees and has relationships with every type of funding company out there. So you
Yeah.
can make sure that you're going the right direction with the right product, and getting the best deal on a business loan that's going to make the most sense for your business, right? Because, not every type of lending makes sense for every situation. Right. And so, yeah, I would say those are probably the 2 biggest mistakes is, going to the first 2 pages of Google and then, really just going direct to a lender in any case. Because a broker that has a great relationship with, say, lender A, they're going to get a way better deal than you are going to lender A one time out of the blue. Right? Like, relationships are everything in the lending industry. So, it's all about going to people that have the best relationship and the best contacts. They're going to be the ones that can get you the best deal.
Yeah. I think that might be something that gets overlooked is the relationship aspect. Because when you think of finance and you think of funding, like it almost feels more just transactional
Yeah,
in a sense.
exactly. Like with banks, for sure. Like, banks have their
Yeah.
set rules. They don't care. You're just a number to them. But the lending space is so much bigger than your traditional national banks, right? You've got a lot of small banks. You got a lot of investment firms. You've got VC firms. You've got MCA companies. You got line of credit companies. You got, credit unions. I mean, just for example, we work with 180 different lenders and banks.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
just the ones we work with.
Yeah. That's
So there's so many different opportunities and options out there, not just SBA, bank loans, and MCAs. There's
totally.
so many different types of funding options.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really helpful. What are some of the economic factors that you watch most closely, and how do they influence your lending decisions?
So honestly, I try not to focus on the economy as a whole. That's just me personally. Every business is different. Every business owner is different. When we take a look at a file, we're really trying to get to know the person behind that business, right? Because no matter what's going on with an economy, a business owner that's relentless and truly passionate about what they do, the economy isn't going to matter. They're going to figure out a way to make it happen no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, even if their industry is going down the tubes, they'll adapt to something else, right?
Right.
There's just certain people in business that are going to be fine no matter what the economy's doing. So yeah, I personally try not to pay attention to it. I think people get wrapped up and get scared about the recession's coming. Oh, the economy's going down. Oh, the stock market, this. Like, you've got total control of yourself, your business, what happens. COVID, 99.9% of the people in our industry went out of business and closed down. We did more revenue than we've ever done in 2020.
That's huge.
We
Yeah,
adapted, right?
congrats.
Like it's a choice. So no matter what's going on with the economy, when shit hits the fan, right, you got a decision to make. Are you going to lay down or are you going to do something about it? And
Yeah.
so, it's kind of a long answer to that economic question. But
No,
yeah,
it's great.
it doesn't matter to me what the economy's doing.
Yeah, that's super interesting. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think, when you're investing in a business, I mean, I haven't personally in the way that you are, but you're really investing in the person.
Yeah.
Well, what have been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in scaling Versa?
Man, every day is a challenge, So, I would say, personnel, having the right people,
Yeah.
not holding on to people that just don't work, that's always been my biggest flaw. I always see the best in people
Yeah.
and believe in people sometimes, a lot of the times, more than they believe in themselves, right? So I'd say, that's probably been my biggest struggle is making sure I've got the right people. It's like I was watching a movie the other day, or a TV show, Mad Men, and the guy was talking. He's like, "You've never been on a rowing team? Like everybody's got to row with the same effort in the same direction." Because if one side's going this way, the other side's going the other way, you're just going in circles. And, it was funny when I saw that, I literally got rid of 2 people that day. Because I'm like, you know what? Like, they're right. Like, we've all got to be rowing in the same direction with the same goal. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So I think that's a big thing is the team, and treating your team like that's the biggest and most important thing, right? Like, your company doesn't work without them. They know that, but they need to know that you know that too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things as a leader, right? Is like finding that balance
Yeah.
between supporting your people and
Yeah.
pushing them to make sure that like the business is going to where it needs to go and they're on
That,
board with you.
yeah, it's a really tough line to figure out. But the right people, you figure it out with, like not everybody's personalities mesh too. Like, and that's okay. Everybody's leadership style isn't for everyone. So I always tell people, like, be your true authentic self when you interview people so they know who you are and what you're like. There's
Totally.
no sense of like trying to make yourself seem different or better or whatever on the interview, because if they see, oh, you're actually a hothead and a whatever, like, further on down the line, you're just wasting each other's time. So like, I always try to be as straightforward as possible about myself, the company, what I've got going on, not just in business, but, if I got stuff going on in my personal life, like, hey, by the way, this is going on, there's going to be times where I'm going to be frustrated, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. But I think, it's the team is everything. It really is.
Yeah. I think that's huge. I mean, you spend more time with the people you work with than your family. So
100%.
and I think with the interview process, I always tell people I've done hundreds of interviews at this point. I'm like, you're interviewing me just as much as I'm interviewing you.
Yep.
Like, it's really important to get a sense of, is this the place you want to work?
Exactly.
Rather than just focusing on like, I want to be the person that they want to hire.
Yeah, exactly. My interviews are more trying to learn about them.
Yeah.
Their work history doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah.
It's the
It's
type
on a
of
resume.
person that they are, right?
Yeah.
What type of person are you? Are you somebody that is a quick learner? Are you somebody that likes learning? Are you someone that, has a huge ego and wants to just do your own thing? Like, what kind of person are you? Are you someone that focuses on helping people and the money will come? You're good with that? Like,
Totally.
I think a lot of the times especially with the interview process, people get wrapped up in, oh, well, they don't have this experience or they don't have that experience. Like, but I mean, even the people that do at one point didn't, you know what I mean?
Totally. You
So
want people that are
yeah,
going to be learning and hungry to get to that next level.
100%.
If they've already done it, they might be half checked out at
Yeah,
that point.
yeah. Or they have bad habits, or they do things differently. Like, I mostly hire people that have no experience in business funding, especially,
Yeah.
but even don't have any experience in sales.
Yeah.
I hire a lot of people that, have been maybe bartenders or entertainers or,
Yeah. So they can talk to anyone.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite areas to kind of inspect in an interview process is seeing how somebody problem solves and how they handle mistakes. Because I always told anyone that worked for me, only time I really would get upset is if you tried to hide a mistake.
Right.
Like, I want you to make
Yeah,
mistakes. Those are the
exactly.
best lessons I've learned.
That's
But
how you
come to me,
learn.
let's fix it. Because it only gets worse when you hide it.
100%.
Yeah.
Love that.
Well, what advice would you have for other entrepreneurs?
I mean, the biggest thing in entrepreneurship is the ability to be able to adapt. Nothing is forever. You know what I mean? Like the way people want to be marketed to changes. You may have the best business right now. Everything's running smooth. Your marketing's on fire. Your sales team's on fire. Everything's going well. It ain't gonna last forever. You got to be able to adapt, and you got to plan for that. Right. So you got to constantly be growing, constantly be learning about new opportunities, new things that are coming out, figuring out new ways that you can add more value to your current client base, I think is a big one.
Yeah.
People focus on more clients, more clients, more clients, and they've kind of forget they have this huge client base already that they could just add more value to, sell
Yeah.
more products to, add another thing, and then another thing, and another thing. The thing is, if you do good business, your clients are going to want to do everything else with you too, right?
Totally.
So, I would say that's the two biggest things, being able to adapt and, never relying on one thing for anything, especially when it comes to products and services.
Yeah. That's great. Well, speaking of the future, where do you see Versa Business Systems 5 years down the road?
So 3 years down the road, we want to be mostly focused on mergers and acquisitions. So our goal is to start purchasing other companies in the lending space, credit card processing, insurance, different B2B services, and inject the way that we do business, the way that we sell products, the way that we educate our clients. Because we've realized that the way we do things works. Business owners love it. They know what they're getting. They're happy. We're the only B2B company that's been around 8 years, has over 1,000 clients, and never had a bad review or complaint. Not a single one. They say
Huge.
you can't
Congrats.
please everybody, but we figured out a way to do that. So that's the plan for us. We want to, go from the best to the biggest.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, any other exciting wins or recent projects that you can share with us?
We're always trying to find new ways that we can help our clients. We're actually starting an AI consulting part of the company that should be ready for us to launch in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
So
Nice.
essentially for pretty much any business type, depending on what they're looking to do. So whether it's more clients, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, operations, whatever their goals are, we'll have a select group of AI tools that we'll recommend to them and build out for them so they can start utilizing AI. I think, any business that doesn't have some sort of AI integrated into their company by next year, they're not going to survive the year.
Yeah, totally.
You
They're going
know,
to get left behind.
it's crazy. I think 2 weeks ago after a podcast, somebody suggested that I should figure out how I spend my day. Right. So for a couple of days, I wrote down. So, for the last 30 minutes, I've been on my email. And then, okay, I was just on the phone for 10 minutes. And then I'd add everything up at the end of the day. And I realized I was spending 4 hours a day on my email.
Wow. Yeah.
4 hours a day on my email. And I came across this thing, I can't remember what it's called, but
Sure. It's like 50% of your week.
yeah. So I came across this AI tool that organizes my email. It hides all the stuff that I don't need to see, I don't need to respond to. Anything I do need to respond to, it drafts a response based on the 90,000 emails that I have and how I've responded to something similar before, that I can just say, yep, that looks good, send. I literally spend maybe 40 minutes on my
Yeah.
email a day now,
That's
right?
huge.
It literally added another 3 hours into my day every day. Every day. It's
That's crazy.
nuts. I'm getting an extra day a week.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's crazy.
Could either use that or have a 4-day work week.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Shaheen. I really enjoyed our conversation and all your insight.
Thank you for listening to Catalyst Chats. Like, share, and don't forget to follow.